Hello guys, so I stumbled on this animation inside of Airtable's website. Yeah, this one. It can be a little bit tricky to do, but then we're going to go step by step with Webflow how this can be achieved. So come with me and let's go. Alright, so this is what we are trying to achieve again. I'm just going to show you guys. So we're going to build all of this section from scratch. Alright, so the integrate critical workflow, this is the left hand side and this is the right hand side where the animation is happening. So we may not really build out this hover thing. We will just build out this movement. All right, that's what we're going to focus on, the movement. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit tricky, but I'm sure once you watch it a couple of times, you would have a grasp of it. So we already have like the structure here, the client first structure, main wrapper, this section integrates, because this is like a integrates critical workflow. So just say section integrates and container large, padding global, and all of that. So this is where we are at. So the next thing we're going to do is to bring in a div block and call it critical components, because we are creating I just want to call it critical components. You can call it whatever you want to call it. All right, so we're just going to say critical component, critical underscore component. So it's the component that's going to handle everything, both the text here and the animation. All right, so funny thing is I've built this out before. So every once in a while, I'll just come here and look at what I've done. So I've already built this out. If you have a look at it, you see how it's working here perfectly. So yeah, so I will just have to come here every now and then and look at, just in case I miss anything. So yeah, so let's just continue from where we are at. Okay, so we have the critical component just under the padding section large. So inside of it, we're going to bring in another div block and we're going to name it something that's going to handle the that will handle the left hand side, which is this part. So we're going to say this div block is going to call it critical let's say critical left content. All right, so we're going to call it critical left content. So inside of the left content, now mind you, because we're going to have left and right content, the parent, which is a critical component, is going to be a flex box and the direction is going to be horizontal. So we have the left and the right. We're going to have two elements inside, which is the critical content, critical left content, and the critical right content. The critical right content is going to handle the animation parts. Okay, so we have the critical right content here, the critical left content, and inside of it we're going to have the heading. We're going to have the heading just as we have here, this, and we're going to have the paragraph, and we're going to have this text link. So we're going to have maybe heading 3, H3, and we're going to have in paragraph text inside, and we're also going to have a text link right inside of here. So this critical left content, we're going to give it a display flex box as well and vertical, and we're going to give it a gap of, let's say, 1 rem. So we have all of this with a gap in between. So let's go get the actual content. So we're just going to copy this here and we're going to go in here and paste it here. I'll just try to be as fast as I can so we don't waste too much time. I'm going to copy this as well, and we're going to paste it here, and we're going to go copy this to, view all integrations, and we're going to paste it right inside the text link. Now, mind you, this is, it's going all across the page. We don't want that. So we're just going to go to the parent, which is the critical left content, and we're going to say, because of how it is here, this is, more like 40% of the entire page. So we're going to make it 40%. So now we have this. So integrates critical workflow. You see workflow has gone down here, and we have this and we have this. But then this paragraph is too big, so we're just going to say text size small. So text size small, good, which is now 1.05 rem. This is just client first stuff. Okay, so this one here, we're going to take out the bold, take away the bold, and we're going to call it view link, and we're going to make it the color blue that they have there. Okay, good. So we're just going to leave it like this. Let's assume we have this part sorted out already. Now let's move to the part that is why we're here, right? This part that handles the animation. Okay, so we have the critical left content all sorted out. So inside of the critical component is where we're going to bring in another div block. So we want to start building this right hand side, which is this part that has the animation and everything. So this part is very tricky. You know, there are lots of steps, you know, because if you take a look at this, we have to put in a div block that is going to house everything. Then we have to put in another div block that is going to house this first part, and another div block that will house the second part, and also this third part. Okay, now if we look into what I have done before, now let's have a look at what I've done before. Now this is the first part that I just did. Now the second part, this part, if you notice here, we have this sorry, we have this wrapper here. Sorry about that. So we have this wrapper here that is housing everything. Now we have this div block that is housing the first part, this one, and this one. So this other two here is just a duplicate of the first one. Now, if you open this first one, you will see we have a card here that is being duplicated. You have the first card, because why that is we have that an overflow here. So if I say visible to not overflow, you will see how it looks here. So we have the first card, this one that has just 4 of them and duplicated into 2, so making it 2 times. So you know, that is why we have this 2, because of this, for the sake of the animation, because the animation would require that this slides, this first one moves and the second one also moves. Then before the second one finish moving, it goes back to the first one. All right, that's how it is for all 3 of them, as you can see. So we just put in this overflow to not show the rest. Enough talking. Let's go back to actually doing. So we're going to bring in a div block that will house everything, and yeah, let's start from there. So go back to our design here. So this div block will be the parent div block that is going to house everything, and we're going to call that critical right card wrapper. And inside of there, we're going to bring in another div block. Now this first div block is the one that is housing everything. Now we'll bring in another div block here. So let's just see what we're doing here. Now this second div block is going to, we're going to call it critical right content. So this one would serve as the first card, right? The first card. Now inside of this, we're going to bring in another div block. Like I said earlier, it's a little bit tricky, but it's not. All right. Once you understand the flow, give me a second. Once you understand, just if you can watch it 2 or 3 times, and you'll just get a hold of it. So we have this and the third div block. Now this one is going to handle the first 4 cards. Then we're going to duplicate it into another 4. All right. So we're going to call these ones critical card. Critical card. All right, I'm going to call it critical card. And from our design here, you're going to see that the card has like a curved edge, has like a box shadow, and has content inside. So that is what we're going to do. But before that, let me look at the previous one, and I hope I'm on track. Okay. So we have this. So I've been able to create this and that. All right. So yes, we're on track. So we are on this card creation. Okay. All right. Let's just forge ahead. So we have this. We have this. Now critical card. Now, inside of this, oops. Sorry about this. Inside of this critical card, we're going to put in a div block again inside, and now we're going to call it card. We're going to call it card. I already have card before, so we're just going to call it card right now. So now this card is going to have the corner radius like this. We're going to put in a box shadow to give it a shadow, maybe like this for now. Okay, like this for now. And now we're going to put in a text block inside, a text block that we're going to call Jira under its project management. And we're going to call this one here Jira. And we're going to put in another text block inside, and we're going to call it project management. Okay, now for this Jira, we're going to make it bold. So I have a class that handles bold, text width bold. Oops, sorry. For the Jira, we're going to call it bold, text width bold. We have that. And for the card, we're going to add padding across board. We're going to add maybe padding like this. Let's use rem. So we'll just maybe 1 rem of padding across everywhere, maybe 0.8. Okay, good. So we're going to stop here. We're not going to try to add the logo and all of that. So we'll just stop here like this. So we have our first card. Now what we want to do, we have this card built, which is good. Now inside of the card is under critical card. All right. The card is under critical card. Now we want to duplicate this card into 4, which is what we have here. The first 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to duplicate it into 4. That's what we're going to do. So we're just going to click on the card and try to duplicate. But right now we're trying to duplicate, but it is stacking on top of each other. That's vertical stacking, which is not what we want. What we want to do is we want to go to the parent, which is critical card, and we want to make it display flex and horizontal. All right, horizontal, and we want to give it a gap of like, let's say 1 rem. So we have this space in between. So now this is what we have. We have it like this, which is good. However, notice how the project management is being squeezed. We don't want that. Notice how here it says project management directly and all of that. That's what we want. And this project management text is too big. So we're just going to say small. So from the client first style guide, we're going to pick text size small. Oops, the text size small is even big. So we're just going to say, let's just say small text. Let's not do too much. Small text. Oops, I already have that as a class. We're just going to say critical, just call it what you want. Critical small text, because it's okay. Now we're just going to make it maybe much smaller like this. All right, cool. So I'm just going to delete all of these other ones here, and this one is what I'm going to duplicate. Okay, we have 4 of them. Now the space between Jira and project management is not enough. So what I want to do is I want to go to card. All right, I want to go to card, and I want to still make it display flex vertical. And I want to give the vertical, the gap in between them, maybe 10 pixels. Good. We have like a 10 pixel spacing in between them. Now let's make it all in a straight line instead of breaking down this project management. So what you want to do is you want to go to the sizing and say, don't shrink or grow. You click on don't shrink or grow. It's going to make the text inside, all up in a straight line without having to shrink it. All right, so now we have that. We're just going to make the card a little bit longer by adding, a padding, right-hand padding like this. Good. Maybe 3 rem of padding to the right. And now we have this, which is good. Now we have an overflow here. Now we're going to duplicate this critical card. We're going to duplicate it so that we have all of this into 2. We have it the first one, and we're going to have another one. So it's very long like this. So it's cut across the page. And for the sake of animation, that's why we need to do that. So I will try to add interaction. We're going to make it make sense. Okay, but before we do that, let's try to impute in all of this Tableau analytics. So we're just going to come here and say Tableau. I hope I got that correctly. Here says analytics. There are different ways to go about this. This is just one of those ways. So we have Google Drive file management. So we have here Google Drive, and here says file management. The last one here, not the last one. This other one here says Zendesk customer support, which is this one here. We have Zendesk customer support. This customer support. All right, good. So we have that. Now what we want to do next is we want to duplicate this critical card. All right. I have done that, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. However, it tries to bring it down, trying to stack it vertically. I do not want that. I want it to be stacked horizontally. So I'll just go to the parent, which is this critical write content. And I'm going to make this guy here, flexbox horizontal. Boom. So look at how it is, flexbox horizontal. This is what we have. And that's what we have right now. And I'm still going to make the child, this shrink, don't grow or shrink. Now we have that. I'm going to make the spacing. So immediately after the first one, I'm going to add a spacing of say 1 rem. Good. So we have all of this from here. So we have the first critical card here, stopping here, and we have the second one here. So the first card and the second card. All right, so now we have that in place. Now we're going to solve this horizontal scrolling. We don't want that. All right. But then before we do that, we notice how all this right hand side is trying to squash all this left hand side. It's trying to compress it somehow. We do not want that. So I'm going to go here to the left hand side and say, don't shrink or grow. Boom. After doing that, it's good to maintain its, original width or original dimension, which is good, which is very good. So look at what we have right now. You see, we have this. So if we preview now, we just have something like this. Oof. I know it's a little bit tricky, a little bit, here and there, but if you go through it and understand it and just watch it again and again, I'm sure you'll get a hold of it. All right. So now we have this long horizontal scroll, which is not good. We're going to stop this horizontal scroll. We don't want this to happen on our website. So what I'm going to do for that horizontal scroll, I'm just going to go to the either the critical right card wrapper and say, hey, I don't want you to scroll horizontally again. So I'm going to hide overflowing content. Click on it, boom, and it's going to just cut short overflow content. So if you try to preview, this is what we have. See, after showing us 1, 2, 3, 4, it just stops there. It tries to cut it off. Now, we've gone past the, this part. The next part is we're going to try to duplicate all of this to make another one under and another one under for this other ones here, this second one and this third one. That's what we're going to do right now. Okay, good. So we are just going to come here and duplicate this critical write content. Ctrl C, Ctrl V into 3 places. Boom. I have done that. So we now have this first one here, second one here, and third one here. Now let's just go and check and to make sure I am on track. Now we have this, let me see, overflow contents. Okay, we have this, and this. Good. All right, so let's keep going. And however, for the overflowing content, instead of making this one set to overflow, instead of making this set to overflow, we're just going to make this instead set to hidden, overflow hidden. Just going to add padding around it. All right, good. Oops, are you sure I'm correct? No, we still have that. No, sorry about that. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, good. So with the overflow hidden is on this one here, and 1, 2, 3. But what I want to do now is to add combo classes. For the sake of animation, we're going to add combo classes. I'm going to say this is the first one, this is the second one. So the middle, this is the middle content, and this is the last one, last. So we have the first, middle, and last. So we are done with the building part. So we're going to try to go to the animation part to make it work. All right, good. Now what we want to do is to animate directly on the critical write content. So we're going to head straight to interactions. All right. We're going to head straight to interaction, and we're going to go to element trigger, and we're going to say scroll into view. So the scrolling should start, or the animation should start when we scroll into view. Okay. Now we're going to come here and say, select an action. I'm going to say start animation, and we're going to click on this plus sign, and we're going to just say movement or card movements, whatever you want to call it. Now, after that, we're going to click on this plus sign, and we're going to say move. All right. Now, what do you want to move? Now, let me go have a peep of what I've done previously here. Okay, the animation was done right inside of this. Okay, which is good. And scroll into view and moving cards. Okay, so the first one, we're going to set an initial state and move it here and move it here. Okay. All right, great. So let's go back to what we are doing. Okay, so we now have this. So our animation is on this first one, scroll into view, and we are on movement. So what we want to do is we want to say, this card, we want you to start your movement. We're going to click on this timing, set as initial state. So the initial state should be maybe like this, or you can say you want your initial state to, because if you look at this here, this one is going like this. All right. So it's moving from left to right. Now we're going to say, okay, so we want the initial state of this first card. The initial state should be like this, maybe minus, let's use, you can use pixels, you can use percent, you can use viewport width, but then I'm just going to use pixel, but then you can use whatever you want to use. Okay, so let's say minus 600 pixels. No, let's say minus 750 pixels. This is because of, we are trying to move it back to the left. We're trying to move it back to the left so that the animation will just flow from left to right. So we're going to say, okay, 750 doesn't work, minus 800 pixel. Okay, minus 850 pixel. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a perfect start. All right, minus 900 pixel. So I want to make this Zendesk, you know, move a little bit to the left. Okay, let's say minus 1000 pixel, 1000. Oops. Okay, minus 1000. All right, now good. We have this Zendesk like that. So minus 1000. Now the Zendesk is starting from here. So now this is like the second card. You know, we have two cards. We have this first one, which is like way to the left, and we have this second one. So we are saying your initial state should be like this. Now the final state, another move state, another move animation. We want you to have move from left to right. All right, like this as well. Okay, now let's try to play this and see. Now you're going to set a duration in 5 seconds. I want that to move from minus 1000 pixel, move to like, you know, minus 195. Let's just play it and see the rough thing that we've done. So far, look at what we've done so far. Let's play that again and see. From the first one, moves now to the second one, which is not bad. So now we want to do some mini adjustments. We want to like do some mini adjustments. So you have to go back to the first one and say, maybe minus 1.5. Now that's too much. Minus 1.2. Okay, minus 1.1. Okay, minus 1.050. Okay. So now let's play this and see. So it moves. The problem I'm having right now is I want the entire cards to show, because this is the first Zendesk, the first card, and play. Okay, this is not bad. Now this is all about timing. You have to make sure you set the card in a way whereby when the first card is going out of animation, it should start exactly where the second card, like the first card should be exactly where the second card should meet it. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you are going to start here, you want to make sure the second card also ends here, so that when the transition happens, you know, nobody's going to know. So let's just move this a little bit to like minus 1000 again. So good. This is like starting here. Be very mindful and be very careful. So when you play this, okay, let's see. Okay, not bad. Now you want to add a final interaction and you want to say move again. This time around, you want to still set the duration, sorry, to 0 seconds. And you want to move it to where this initial one started. So you want to set it to minus 1000. Now let's take a look at it on screen like this. See, moving. Good. Now imagine we want to set this to like, let's set this to like loop. Like it should happen again and again and again. So let's see what's going to happen. See? So what's happening? But it's still not perfect. If you notice, there's a glitch. There's like a, a little shake. So what we need to do is we want to go back to our animation here under movement. And we want to make sure we get the end point and the starting point perfect. We want to match them to fit. Now the first starting point is here. The second one with the movement is here. So we need to match them. This one is a little bit to the back and this second one is a little bit to the front. So we're just going to move it. Go back, go back, go back, go back a bit, like this, I guess. So, okay, good. So this is a little bit matching. So when we play it again, so you won't really notice what is going on. Good. You see how perfect it is? So you can't really tell what is happening. This is perfect. I know it is kind of confusing, I would say. Not really confusing. Animation can be, kind of weird sometimes, but it just takes a little bit of practice and practice and practice. So we've done that for the first card. Now what we want to do, we want to animate this second one. Now from what we're seeing here, the self-force and mirror is going from right to left, going from right to left. Now how are we going to do that? So let's just save this one done, and we're just going to click on the second one. Mind you, second one has a combo class of middle. We'll go to interaction, go to plus, go to scroll in view, and select an action and start animation. And you want to come here to this first one. We have the first one here that says movement that we just did now. And we're going to duplicate it. All right. We're going to duplicate it and we have it here and we're going to open it, but you want to rename it to maybe something else. Movement middle, for the middle one. Now for the middle one, you want to like reverse it. First things first, you want to change the target because the target is for this first one. So you want to come here, right click and say change target, and boom, you want to select the second one here. You want to also come here and say change target and select the second one. And you want to still come here and say change target and select the second one. Now the second one is now selected. Now what do you want to do for the initial states? You want to move everything from the left to the right. All right. So we're going to set an initial state telling it, hey, all of you go to the right. Okay. Everybody go to the right. Or you want to just set it at maybe 0 degrees. Okay. At 0%, 0 pixel, 0 pixel. So everything will start from 0 pixel, moving to the left. Yeah, moving to the left. So that's the initial. And you want to go down. The movement should send everything from how it was. Now everybody move to the right. Move to the right. To like now minus 1000. Boom, move to the right. It has pushed everything to the right, leaving Zendesk at this point. That's the last card, which is Zendesk. Now the last card could be anything that you name it. You can just rename it from here. And what else? Okay, good. Now we have that, and add another interaction, which is the last, which means take everything to the initial position, and the initial position here is 0. So let's take everything to 0 in 0 seconds. That's where the change is going to happen, immediately. All right, so let's try to play that and see how it's going. See? Good, it's happening. It's actually happening. Now it's happening, but then I just need to come here and say loop. Let's loop it. But then again, it's too fast. It's kind of fast. What I would need to do is to come here and say, okay, let's just play it and see. Now I've done the loop thing. Good, it's happening. But then you notice that's obvious glitch that so you just need to go and try to sort that glitch thingy out. So you're going to say here, here, here. Now the problem is from here and here, here and here. So what we need to do is just to come here to the endpoint is saying, okay, the beginning point is at 1000, sorry. So we have Google Drive. Google Drive is here. So let's try to bring Google Drive to suit that position. Okay, maybe minus 800. 800, good. More and more and more and more. Okay, good. So we have this and this and this. Perfect. Now let's play again. I hope we don't get to see that glitch. Good. Perfect. Everything is perfect. All right. Everything is just perfect. Okay. So we're just going to click on save. And now let's try to work on the timing, So for the timing, we're going to say the movement, the second one, should happen in 10 seconds. All right. And we'll play that. See, it's now very slow, which is good, which is very good. Now we're going to go to the first one. So we're on the first one now. And the first one is this. Oops. The first one, sorry. This first one. The first one is this first movement. And we're going to set the timing also to like 10 seconds. So the movement should happen in 10 seconds. Notice how it's slowly moving. All right. Now we don't have animation for this third one. Now this last one and this first one are going in the same direction as we can see here, but it's even slower. So everything is pretty slow. So we're just going to say 20 seconds. 20 seconds. All right. 20 seconds for this. Save it and go to the second one here. Also, we're going to make it 20 seconds. Capiche? 20 seconds. Now you're going to notice the slow movement for the two of them. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. All right. Now, since the first one and the last one are having the same, direction, it's very simple. You just need to come here and click on the third one here, which is the third critical right content that is having last as the combo class. And we're going to go here and say interaction, element trigger, scroll into view, select an action, start animation. And instead of duplicating or having its own separate animation or its own separate whatever, we want to say, please use the movement, use the first one that we have created. So we don't have to create from scratch. Just make use of the first one that we have created. I'll just have to select that and boom, that's all. That is all. So if I play it now, boom, everything is working perfectly. Perfectly. Now, the only issue is the spacing between the three of them is they are too close together. So what I need to do is to go to the appearance here, come here and say, hey, you guys are too close together. So I want to make it flexbox, vertical, and maybe 1 rem. Good. Now we have a reasonable amount of space in between. Maybe 1.5 rem. Maybe 1.2 rem. Good. Now we have a reasonable amount of space. So if we preview, we have this movement, which is good, which is very good. So I may not have the time to go and do the other animation, like when you hover, the whole animation stops, which I like. When you hover on any part, everything stops. I may not have the time to do it because I've wasted lots of time trying to, do this. But then, yeah, and when you hover, so let's quickly do the hover thing. So when you hover, let's say when you hover on a card, it lights up and brings out more, shadow. So let's do that. And just going to click on one of the card, any of the card, and come here and say on hover. What should happen? The shadow should add up even more like this, and the blur should go even better, and the size even thicker. No, maybe smaller. Okay. Like this. So the blur should go even more blur, and yeah, something like this. And boom, that's it. I want to also add a transition so it happens smoothly. And you want to say all properties and maybe 275. So yeah, oops. So you see when you hover, this happened. But I mistakenly did that thing on the bigger grid point. I'm supposed to do it here. So I have to go back and do everything I just did. So on here, mind you, always put all your edits or styling on this. So I'm just going to repeat it again. Come here on hover, everything, the box shadow, this should increase a bit. The blur should increase and the sizing to also increase. So yeah, more blurriness and maybe sizing. Good. So take this hover out and say transition, all properties, and maybe 275. And yep, that's it. So when you hover on any of the card, you see how it is looking good. Very good, very good, very good, very good. So when you hover, all the interaction stops. I'm not going to do that now because I've wasted lots of time trying to explain this. So at first it may look like a lot, but it's not. Maybe there are other easy ways to go about this, but then, like I said, it can be tricky. Oops, this is no longer working. Oh, can you guess why this is not working? I don't know, but let's go check it out. Let's see again. I wonder why that is not working. Maybe because I need to say interactions, this, and loop. Okay, you see, I did not set it to loop. So for it to start again every time, like forever. So yes, that's what we have. So it's going to loop every now and then, and it's going to start. You can't even tell when the loop will happen because it's happening in 0 seconds so fast. All right, it's happening in 0 seconds so fast. So yeah, let me hear what you think. If you think you have a better way to approach this, you know what I mean, you can always share with me. But yeah, so I hope to see you guys again in my next video. Take care of yourself. Bye for now. Okay, and that's a wrap, and I hope this was very helpful. And if you do not understand it now, just take out time to watch it again and again, and it's going to make sense eventually. See you guys in my next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and boom.